What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news in the form of This Week at Bungie. And there are a couple of main points that they touch on in the update today. Firstly, some key details for the reprise raid that we'll be seeing in Season 18, and so we get a date for it, but they also tell us how to be raid ready. And then they touch on some adjustments that they plan to make for matchmaking inside of PvP during Season 18 and 19. So we'll talk about all of that, as well as a new community emblem that's been unlocked, Trials map voting, and a few other things in the video. So as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one, but without further delay, let's get into it. And initially they say coming up in Season 18 will be our second go at bringing a raid out of the Destiny content vault. And this time it's gonna be redacted. Unfortunately, they don't tell us. They say, sorry, we're saving the reveal of which raid is coming to Destiny 2 for the D2 showcase on August 23rd. But we want to make sure you have time to make any arrangements necessary to be ready on day one. And so the redacted raid will go live at 10 AM Pacific on August 26th, 2022. And of course, the new season starts immediately after the showcase on the 23rd of August. So the 26th is the Friday evening. And that's a pretty short window of time between the season release and the raid drop-in. And they go on to say, because this will be a raid that many of you are already somewhat familiar with, we'll be changing up the world first race a bit. And so the raid will launch with the contest mode enabled for 24 hours. You will need to be at 1560 power to be at the cap for all of the encounters. And so a fairly low threshold. And they say that clearing the raid with contest mode active is the first step to accessing the new challenge mode in the Director, and completing the secret triumph, a curated list of challenges in this newly unlocked mode, will be how a fire team crosses the world first finish line and claims their prize. They finish by saying that challenge mode and the secret triumph will only be available for the first 24 hours. And so there we go, no teasers about what raid we're going to see, although as far as we know it is going to be Wrath of the Machine or King's Fall, as Bungie had said they plan to bring back one of the bigger raids. And a lot of people lean towards King's Fall right there, so give us your thoughts below, but at least we have a date and a time, so let us know in the comment section if you plan to dive into that raid on release. Next though, they say starting in Season 18, we'll be introducing some changes in how we play Matchmaker in the Crucible. This will be the first iteration that is part of a larger plan going through Season 19. And so they give a lot of technical information here. They say we're striving towards a goal that all players, including new lights, can enter the Crucible and regularly get matches where they feel competitive. It's also a goal to make fair matches using skill-based matchmaking, and we're starting by implementing loose skill-based matchmaking to the control playlist at the start of Season 18. Loose skill-based matchmaking has a wider starting skill similarity than survival, and should result in matching with a wider variety of players. We should also expect loose skill-based matchmaking to expand to other playlists in future seasons, but they're not planning to add it to every match-made Crucible playlist, and they'll continue tuning until it's in a good place. Plus they plan to implement a form of fireteam size preferred matchmaking in Season 19. There's more technical info in the TWAB about the skill levels of different players in Destiny, but they say in terms of what they'll be looking at as they tune, it will include matchmaking time, minimizing players who can't find a match in 10 minutes with a goal to keep the average under 2 minutes. Then there are mercy games, and right now, mercy rates vary based on the map, as low as 5% and as high as 25%. And we believe that the number of mercy games should be under 5% on all maps. But also in general, games should be closer in score, and right now 65% of matches end with one team hitting the score target, and the goal is that 80% of matches end with one team reaching the score target. And they want to see less variance between top players and bottom players. Right now, 5 to 10% of matches have the best player scoring 30 to 39 more kills than the worst player in the match, and we believe that 90% of matches should have less than a 20 kill difference between the best and worst players. And so for skill-based matchmaking in Control, they say at the start of Season 18, they're going to start tuning match fairness back up. They say we want to start slowly to limit the number of playlists we consider when tuning matchmaking with hundreds of thousands of people. We can do some testing, but nothing can fully simulate how the population will be affected by these changes. So they plan to live tune the matchmaking parameters over the first few weeks until we land on something that provides a better balance between fairness, quality, and speed. They also say they won't be touching any other Crucible playlists during Season 18. Trials has no planned changes to matchmaking. Elimination and Glory will still use the same skill-based matchmaking they have been using, and everything else will remain connection-based. Then there is skill distribution, and they say in a future season they're also hoping to introduce some technology that allows us to search a wider skill variance based on your position in the skill curve and keep matchmaking times more consistent. And they also say that it's no mystery that full fire teams often stomp 6 solo players who matched against them, and they say we'll be implementing a form of fire team size preferred matchmaking in season 19, and they'll be sharing details about how it works closer to release. But the goal is for it to be utilized to like skill, sometimes as a strict requirement and sometimes as a loose one. And again, there are further justifications about player skill, current issues in the game, and why Bungie think that this is a good implementation for the future. I know a lot of players won't like the idea of skill-based matchmaking being there. It can certainly be a bit of a divisive one, and I think we've seen both good and bad variants of skill-based matchmaking being in the game. Obviously, Bungie feel there's some improvement to make by introducing it to more of the casual modes right now, so let us know what you think below, but of course we won't really know how this is going to affect the game and how it will feel until it's actually implemented. So again, share your thoughts down below, and I'll link the TWAB if you want to check out the extra info. They finished in the TWAB though by saying last week we revealed that 3 maps would be voted on by the community and determined this week's Trials of Osiris map will be Eternity. So this will be the map for the Trials weekend of July 25th. Eternity got 39% of the vote, Widow's Court 31 and Rusted Lands 30. They also say that the community smashed getting 77,000 votes for the map in the first 48 hours. And so, a special new emblem has been unlocked through Bungie Rewards, and players will be able to pick this up starting next week after reset on August 2nd. That one is going to be available for all players. So I'll keep you posted with more info that we get about that next week. A couple of extra bits of conversation to throw into the video right here, but on Reddit players pointed out that subclass glows have become washed out after the patch that we had this week, and Cosmo replied that this is a bug and not an intended change, and it may be related to the fix to the stasis glow that was the wrong colour, so they are currently investigating and working on a fix. Next though, the Prime Gaming in-game gear drop for the month is out, so if you have an Amazon Prime account and it's connected via Prime Gaming, there are some free cosmetic rewards that can be claimed for Destiny 2, and this is the Flip Out Exotic Bundle. And so that includes the Flip Out Exotic Emote, as well as the Taconome Wings Exotic Ship. And there's also the Constricting Shell Exotic Ghost, which is a pretty cool one right there. And finally, the Spaded Knife Legendary Sparrow. And so I'll leave the link to the Prime Gaming site in the description box below if you want to check it out. And finally, DMG spoke once again about the harassment that developers have received on social media. And he points out that the harassment Bungie have spoken about isn't just rude replies on Twitter or vague comments. There have been real threats towards the people in the studio, and we're taking them seriously, which is leading to an amount of reduced communications as the team plans future protections and strategies to help avoid these sort of things. It goes on to say that none of this is meant to be a punishment to the people who can leave clear and respectful feedback for devs. There are no instances at Bungie where people actively look at a conversation and plan retaliatory actions towards our player base via hotfixes, updates, or strategies. Sometimes we just need to take time to get things straightened out, as we want the best for our players and our employees. And so it finishes by saying it's a bummer that we don't have more interaction here as late. The team is planning on ways in which to communicate with players. Some of these plans I'm really looking forward to when I get back in. And we can assure players that many on the team are checking out threads each day and talking about feedback. And so Bungie are thinking about the routes via which they communicate with players. Obviously, they've been doing that less in the wake of some issues recently. So it's good to get a bit of extra commentary and insight about that. And again, nobody at their workplace should be receiving threats and things, especially over issues in a video game. So I thought that was worth touching on once again. And feel free, as always, to give us your thoughts below. But for today, guys, that's what we have to break down in the video. So let us know down below if you're planning on jumping into the reprised raid or anything else you're looking forward to with Season 18. If you've enjoyed the video today, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Plus, be sure to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more content. But otherwise for today, I appreciate you tuning in and I'll catch you guys very soon.